Hi again, and welcome to Into the Dark Zone, your weekly digest of everything and anything The Division. This is episode 7, and I'm your host, Crashblade. Next to me is the infamous Spider Monkey.
Morning, everyone.
Mike, aka Champpayne, will not be making it today due to his current contact with green poison. Get better, champ. Remember to tweet us at Into the Dark Zone and ask any questions you may have via the comment section on our Twitch stream, as well as if you have any questions, if you have any questions and answer. I just butchered this again right now.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm doing this from. I'm trying to do this from memory, but anyway, get any questions back in the when we get to the questions and answer segment near the end of our show. First up, we have news and events.
All right, lots of news this week. We had some Friday maintenance fixes, and this was last Friday, not this Friday, right? Or what was this? No, this was yesterday.
Yeah, this
Sorry.
yesterday.
I got stuff out of order. It's been a crazy week at work. I'm like losing my mind.
Very little
Anyway.
game time.
The Madison Field Hospital elite NPC that spawns when Hutch is killed before jumping down from the roof will no longer drop additional loot when killed repeatedly. And then the same missions, named NPCs killed from outside the mission area will no longer drop additional loot when killed repeatedly. No more Hornet. Fixed issues, which could allow groups to bypass the limit of 4 members, which is definitely a good way to go. Although I had a lot of fun in the Dark Zone. We got some bigger groups going, but they had to fix that. So
Nice.
a fix for the backpack lockout bug is in the works. They've identified the problem and are working on it. It's their top priority in bug fixing. In the meantime, we would like to advise you not to attach mods on items you are not using. We'd like to thank you again for your cooperation and patience. And then there's another bug involving the talent on the masks called Rejuvenated. It's
Yeah.
supposed to replenish your health by 2% per second while under a status effect. Problem is that the talent will continue long after the status effect wears off. This creates an unfair advantage in the Dark Zone. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you can actually like hit yourself with a grenade.
Yeah, I heard
Start
about that.
it.
That's
Yeah.
you can see it the many ways that can be exploited. I mean, there are videos out there, referring to that and how it can be worked on. So yeah, that needs to get fixed pronto, please.
Yep. Confirmation of how the scavenging stat functions was given. It applies to all drops that have a chance of various qualities, and it applies an increase to the chances of rolling a higher quality item, not more drops. So it does not increase the chance of dropping an item, increases the likelihood that any item dropped will be higher quality. So if you start with a 0.5% chance and you have like even up to 200% scavenging, now you're at like what 1.5% chance. So is it worth it?
Yeah, no, it's funny you mentioned that because remember we were having this constant back and forth about we were thinking, well, is it just for item drops when we're picking up, chests or little division type boxes, or is it for items? That's good that they clarified that because that was at least for me, that was something that was in question. But it's good to know.
Although it still is at 100 because then I don't. So does it count for those chests? Am I more likely to get division tech that's yellow if I have scavenging? They didn't really, They said items. Does that mean just gear items, or does that mean that too? So I guess maybe I don't know. There's still
Yeah,
questions.
yeah. You know what? I actually we did a run on I want to say Thursday, I believe that we were doing division tech because obviously once you go to DD06 and you pick up the
Mm-hmm.
higher level anything that requires Phoenix credits, it's going to require division tech for you to build.
Right.
And from what I've noticed, I bought an MP5. It requires 3 division tech to build. I bought the gloves, the chest piece, 3 division tech per item that you
Yep.
craft.
That's what
So,
I've seen so far too. Although I
mhm,
haven't gotten them. Hopefully, I have more time to play today.
yeah, right. But getting back to that, what I did when we were running around for that when we were scavenging around for the division tech, I did switch my gear set. I have a scavenging set, and it
Yeah.
puts me all the way up to about 209% scavenging. That kind of what you just read there kind of falls in line with what I noticed. I did see it did increase I got less yellows,
Mm-hmm.
but I did not get more high ends.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry, I got less greens.
Right.
Yeah, I got less greens, but it didn't mean I didn't increase the chances of high ends. I did get probably 1 or 2 more high ends than I would have, which I compared it to the
Mm-hmm.
fact that I was in there yesterday, did a run, and we did a little circuit around DZ01, DZ02, and I think I started off with, I think it was either 3 Division Tech when I started. By the time we were done, I ended with 6.
Yep.
And we were in there for a while, just running around. We went to DZ05, DZ06. We popped quite a few boxes, and not to mention that actually I got one high end one from a boss. So
Nice.
yeah, I mean it's nice, but you know what the whole thing with
That could
Division
all be
Tech,
luck too.
yeah, yeah, of
Well,
course, by
it's
all means,
hard to tell.
yeah. At least my point of view with Division Tech, it should be something that same way we craft gear mods, right? We should be able to craft Division Tech. I mean, it's expensive as it is. The way they have the
Yeah.
conversion, you need 5 per. It's not like it's gonna break the game, but
Well, we'll see. They mentioned that they were working on Division Tech, and it may not
yeah,
even have to do with crafting anymore or something, or
hmm
may I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know.
Maybe
We'll
it'll
see.
become required to
They
purchase stuff. I don't know.
they did mention, which I'll get to it when we cover
Yeah.
the weekend review. They mentioned something about the assignments and Division Tech, so we'll get to that though.
Yeah, the last bit of news, of course, is that patch 1.1 info revealed Falcon Lost Incursion and more coming on April 12th, and we'll cover all that in the weekly review, so I'm not going to go through stuff now.
Hype, 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 hype.
That's what this whole show is going to be about.
Yes. All right. That moves us over to our next segment, the weekend review. All right. So we have, if you missed the Twitch stream that was out on Wednesday, they spoke about the incursions, the gear sets, and everything that has to do with everything that's going to come in patch 1.1. Um, just to touch on a few things here. There's going to be new gear sets with set specific bonuses. Oh, by the way, just a quick note. For anyone that has played Diablo or Diablo any Diablo game, specifically let's say Diablo 3. I mean, this is why I love the game so much because I like Diablo, and at
Mm-hmm.
least with this game, it's just Diablo but with guns. So that's why I like it. So,
Need more space.
oh my god, yeah,
That's
that's
all I see
something
with these
else,
sets. I'm like, these sets are awesome. How am I going to have all
dude.
these sets?
You know what? I guess we'll cover that in the weekend review. Just you know what, you brought it up. Let's just take care of it right now. With all the new weapons that are coming in, we need more stash space. We
Yeah.
need bigger backpacks. We need a bigger box. We
The
gotta
ba-
put the-
I can deal with the backpack being about the size it
yeah.
is, I think, because it'll keep increasing as we get more gear. They'll keep adding
Yes.
a few slots and whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine. But yeah, the stash of like
The
40.
stash has to increase.
Come on,
There's got to
that
be.
needs to be like
There is.
300.
Yeah. There is a perk obviously that we get an extra 10 slots in the stash. At least let us buy a bigger stash. Because my God, I'm running out of space. Well, I'm not
The
running out
game
of
does
space in the
need credit
stash yet.
sinks,
Yes.
so let us buy more. Yeah, let us use regular credits to buy more stash space.
Exactly. Yeah, give us an additional 10 slots per, I don't know, yeah,
Whatever.
100,000
Yeah,
credits, something. I mean, it's not like you have a lot of things to waste your credits on instead of,
yeah. I don't care how they do it.
excuse
They
me.
just need to give us more space.
Yeah, we just need more space, basically. Anyway, new gear sets with set specific bonuses. So we have
Punisher gear
the
set.
Punisher gear set. It's to go with your beanie. Yeah, there's 4 gear sets that they mentioned in the stream. There's a Path of the Nomad. That's a Dark Zone gear set. They didn't give too much details. They just
Didn't give
basically
any
said that's going to
details.
be a
Yeah.
Dark Zone specific gear set. So we can safely assume that it's going to be a PvP gear set, maybe with some type of PvP stats
I
included
would
in
think
there.
so.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Um, Sentry's Call. That's going to be a marksman set. So that's for you. That's for you,
Yep.
Sean.
That's the first
You're
one I'm
the
going for.
Yep. That's for you snipers. There's going to be Tactician's Authority. That's going to be a support set. Um, I They mentioned support. They basically said for those people who like to play a support role, healing. I would say also this would apply to anyone that wants to do a tanking build because it does fall within the realms of support because
If it's
that
all
it's
electronics, yeah.
exactly it's all affected by electronics and skill power. So that's I would actually just lump all of that into there. And
It's
then
hard to
we
say
have
until they actually tell us what the set bonuses are, though.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So there's since there's obviously they didn't get into specifics, the set bonuses. We'll see if they cover something next week because obviously this drops
Mm-hmm.
in 2 weeks. So the last one is the Striker's Battle Gear. That's the assault set. So that's for us DPS guys. So that'd be interesting to see what type of abilities it unlocks. So it's gonna be unlocking again, just referencing Diablo. If you guys know, once you get the gear sets, you have two sets. It'll give you a bonus for a specific talent or whatever it gives you. If you have three, or if you have the entire set, then you get a more powerful set and you can deal more damage. They did mention that these are all going to be new talents and abilities
Mm-hmm.
that obviously we don't have at the moment that will make your character stronger. All right. Now, on another note, that being said, they did mention that the current gear will not become obsolete.
Right. It's going to be because they're not going to have all the talents that the high end gear has. So it's
Correct. So
only
they
going
did
to help with
mention
the
that.
set.
Yeah, they did mention that we are going to have the flexibility of swapping. Let's say we might have some power level 31 gear or whatever new high end gear that they introduce. You're going to be able to swap them in and out because you might have better stats. You might have something specific
Mm-hmm.
that you like on the gear set. Probably have more skill power that it'll put you above a certain threshold that you want. So you can just swap them in and out. Doesn't necessarily mean you need to have the entire gear set. Doesn't mean that if you have the entire gear set, it's going to make you stronger. Not necessarily. But again, until we find out the exact details on the
And
gear sets,
I think you need four pieces to activate whatever that gear set thing is. So maybe eventually you'll have like five or six pieces, and you can swap around different high
yeah,
end pieces. So you
yeah,
only need to be wearing four at a time. And
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I was thinking. Probably since we do have six slots for
mm-hmm.
gear per se, four out of the six will be the gear sets, and then the other two is things you swap around with your high ends.
Yeah.
Could be that unless they decide to do an entire gear set. You do six out of six, and then you've got two that you can swap around. But in order to activate a set bonus, I mean, again, this is all just us assuming what's gonna come in. So,
Right.
um,
So gear score, what's up with that?
oh, gear score, yes. Oh, one quick thing: how can you acquire these gear
Hmm.
sets? They mentioned you can acquire them from the DZ, the challenge modes, incursions, and from blueprints. So, how you can acquire said blueprints?
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I would hope the I would think the blueprints maybe drop in the incursion, or maybe missions in the incursion.
hmm,
Like do so much,
yeah.
kill so many
They
things in the incursion. Stop so many drones. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Be
They definitely did say that they're gonna, in order for you to get a gear set, they want diversity. Not just okay, we're gonna go to incursion and just grind, 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 and then we're gonna get all gear sets from incursion. So you're only gonna be getting specific sets from incursions and probably another sets from something else. So you have to again diversify, get out there, and
hmm
you have to do multiple activities to get these sets. So that is definitely something that
Yeah, I'm glad
it'll
they have
keep
us
the game.
doing different things too, and different ways to acquire it instead of just you have to do the incursion to get it.
Exactly, exactly. All right, gear score. The gear score is going to replace the item level. Okay. From what they mentioned, it seems like right now, for example, we have the high ends. You can get high ends that are power level 31.
Right.
All right. So the gear sets are actually going to be, per se, they'll be power level 32. That's what's going to happen here. Right? It's not going to be obviously named power level, but they did make a mention about that it is going to basically bump you up 2 levels, the gear set. So you're 30, you can get a
hmm
high end that'll basically make you 31, and you can get the gear set which will make you 32.
So I wonder if you can. I wonder if they're changing the numbers too, or if we could actually kind of figure out what our gear score is now by just adding up our item levels of what's
Well,
equipped.
they they cover that in how they, again, they didn't get into details. They did say that they're going to take into account what you have, but they are going to be replacing item level with gear score.
Yep.
They are going to be replacing, and the HUD, you see in the HUD in the lower right hand side when you see your group, you have the level 30.
Yeah,
They're
so when
gonna
you
replace.
do when you do matchmaking in challenge mode, you can
Oh my
see if
god.
some guys like just hit level 30
Yes.
and his gear score's really low. Like,
Yeah. So
sorry, buddy.
yeah, but you'll be able to see that. Um, they're gonna show you the gear score right next to their name
Yeah.
because obviously, since we max out at 30, it's like they mentioned. Why? There's no point in seeing at 30 there.
Yep.
Obviously, you're 30, so why bother? So now we get gear score there instead of 30. Um, another thing that they're gonna do with gear score when you're matchmaking, yes, matchmaking will be available in the incursions.
Hmm.
Um, when you're matchmaking, the system itself will also scan your inventory. So whatever you have on inventory, it will be scanned and it will be determined for your gear score. So let's say, for example, if you're going to matchmaking and you have some of your sets, just to say you don't have it equipped for whatever reason, it will determine that as your gear score. So if you go in, you're thinking, oh my god, let me try and go in the lower end, you won't be
Yeah.
able to go in the lower end.
Yeah, I like
So
that. So they're not gonna. I don't know how much it would affect. Like, I guess if you could get into a dark zone with lower geared stuff, or if they, if they're gonna match dark zone when you go in with like,
mhm.
try to get people that are in the same gear score
Oh, I see what
range.
you're saying. I see what you're saying. Make I don't know. I
I
don't know
hope
if they're
they.
gonna tier that though.
That'd be nice.
Hmm.
Not like totally tier, but just try to match. They'll just try to match make near there.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually quite an interesting thought. How would they gear score? But again, the DZ said, we'll see what when they elaborate
I'm trying to think what
more.
advantage it would be to put on my like bunch of crap green gear to
Hmm.
try to get a low gear score.
Yeah,
I don't
uh,
know. I wouldn't want to do that when I want to get into an incursion or any
exactly,
PVE. So
exactly. But anyway, they said that it will be taking that into account. So, um, so a few other things I know that you like, Sean. Trading.
yep, yeah, this works. So I can go through this stuff. You can
Yeah.
trade only with those who are in your squad at the moment the item dropped. Items can be traded by dropping them on the floor. Do be careful with that one if you are not with friends.
Yes.
If you're with some pugs, make sure that whoever you want to get it is ready to pick it up when you drop it, or wait until the other
Yeah.
ones have left.
Yeah.
Um, there is a 2 hour limit on the trade, which makes sense too. And trading in the dark zone will only be available at the gate, so you got to get to like a checkpoint. I think safe houses too. Did they say? I
Um.
think basically just not in the dark zone, like where
Yeah.
you're.
They
Cause
did just mention gate. They didn't mention a safe house. So, but
okay,
I would say, why not a safe house? You're in a safe
yeah, I
location.
think they
So.
just want you somewhere where
Hmm.
it's not going to start a fight.
Yeah. Not
But
like
yeah,
we
I
need any
really
more of
like this
those.
because we have our different roles. So like, if some crazy sniper drops in the uh, in the incursion, hopefully you guys will be nice enough to give it to me. But
Arr.
and if I get some gear
Yeah.
that's like, heal power or whatever stuff that we could give to Champpayne, you know.
Definitely, definitely. I agree. I mean, the trading works, great like that because for example, our group, we know like you are the marksman for the group. So yeah, I wouldn't mind, switching over any marksman gear to you. That'll make your character stronger. So when the next set drops, maybe you don't
Yep.
need it, and now somebody else can pick it up. So if it's not an upgrade,
Yeah, or
and me, for
you're in the
example,
dark zone I already have something and another one drops for me. Well, now it's like instead of just destroying it,
exactly,
let's go to a
exactly,
checkpoint and I'll give it to
yeah.
you.
Even though with the current trading system, you know what the current trading system is in the DZ. If
Yeah, yeah, that does work in the dark zone
hey,
too.
hey, man, I got a Midas. Oh, dude, that's my third one. Dude, I don't have one. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll leave group,
Yep.
kill me, and then pick up the Midas, and hopefully it becomes a public drop when you kill you the first time, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, the trading is definitely it's a welcome change. So that's nice. Um, the next thing there is that they're gonna add a new thing called assignments. So with assignments, these are not going to be new. These are going to be separate from the daily missions, but you are going to get an assignment. They're an assignment. There are
Hmm.
going to be daily and weekly assignments. Um, the reward from these assignments are going to include Phoenix credits, division tech. This is what I was getting to right here. So how much
Yep.
division tech are they going to give you for completing
Right.
this assignment? So are
So
they going to make it easier to acquire? That'd be good to know.
the assignments I figure are going to be like in the closed beta.
Hmm.
Sorry, not the closed, the open beta. They ran, like kill X many cleaners. You know, how many elite
Yes.
cleaners can you kill today? That kind of thing. So I'm
Yes.
assuming that's going to be that type
Exactly.
of.
That's the first thing that popped in mind.
Yep.
That I remember that from the beta that they had these assignments, or what did they call them in the beta? What did they call them,
Mm,
assignments? Or there
I
was a
don't remember
specific name. I
exactly.
forgot what it was. But yeah, you had a daily. It's like a daily task that you had
Yep.
to do to complete. So you're gonna have these daily tasks and a weekly task. So obviously the weekly being you got a weekly lockout on the task. Obviously it's a weekly. Um, what will you get from the weekly? Again, they just mentioned that the rewards are gonna be they're gonna be good rewards again. Phoenix credits, Division Tech,
Hmm.
another good rewards. That's what they said. Um, so we'll see how that adds another element to the game. It keeps the community engaged as far as
Something else to
completing
do every
something.
day.
Yeah. Yep. You know, it'd be nice with the assignments too if they have like a community assignment, right? Do you know how a lot of games have like a
Yeah.
community type deal? Yeah, that would be cool.
Yep. Like
Do like,
Battlefield does all the time,
yeah,
usually.
yeah, yeah. They do that like once a month.
Hmm.
Extract 3 million items just to give you
Yep.
a number or whatever. That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be
Or
good.
kill 1,000 rogues. You could see how that's gonna go.
And speaking of the Dark Zone stuff again, too, what they're adding in the Dark Zone is the supply drops.
Yes,
So they're going to be
yes.
random drops in the Dark Zone with better items than we have seen. They're going to be guarded by strong enemies, and there's no need to extract this stuff. The items are coming from outside, from a non-contaminated zone, and
Hmm.
dropping in. So it's you got to clear out all those enemies, and maybe work with some other people in the area to clear out those enemies. And then as soon as those enemies are cleared out,
Turn guns on each other.
yep, because whoever opens the thing first, that group's getting everything.
Oh my god, dude! I can see the tears flowing already, man.
Yep.
How this will just like piss off a lot of people.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes
Yeah,
because I mean, tough enemies, whatever. I can just envision like, all right, pop survivor link, run in, grab the thing. Who cares if you
yeah,
die
dude.
if you
It's
get it
I don't
open,
know.
right?
That's gonna be interesting.
We'll see how they do it.
Yeah, and you know what? This brings a a new element into the dark zone. Obviously, that we haven't seen before. Once the supply drops come, I wonder how they're gonna do it. Are they gonna? I'm assuming it's probably gonna be an instance unless it's a server wide announcement, regardless of the instance you're in. They are gonna be dropping, from what they mentioned. They are gonna be dropping. I think it's every hour. There's
Yeah, it
gonna
was every
be
couple hours, I think, or
yes,
something.
every some odd hours they're gonna be dropping. There's gonna be a supply
Hmm.
drop. So I wonder how are they gonna get that message? Are they gonna do broadcast a message and say, "Oh, supply drop incoming"?
I think
Now
probably
with
just like an extraction or rogue.
yeah,
You see him on your map.
yeah, if there's yeah, I wonder how that's gonna come across.
Yep.
That's one. Number two, they did say that supply drops are random in the sense that they are gonna be in randomized locations.
Right. You can't just sit at one spot and wait for it.
Exactly. Now, are they going to be in DZ01, DZ02, DZ03, up to DZ06, right? Now, that being said, are they going to be the same quality if they drop in DZ01 as if they drop in DZ06?
Well, if they're gonna have a bunch of mobs, high level mobs spawn with the supply drop, then I
Mm-hmm.
could see it being same quality. But it would
Yeah,
also certainly make sense if they didn't. And yeah, DZ06 ones are gonna give you better stuff.
yeah, yeah. That'd be interesting. I'm kind of curious to see when they elaborate more on that and see how
Yep.
they that gets
We'll find out
implemented.
either way in 10 days.
Oh yes, we will find out. That's for sure. The one thing, last thing to mention on supply drops is, like you said, you get together, you got a bunch of different fire teams out there, a bunch of different squads taking out the enemies, but get ready for people to start turning on you because
Hmm.
these supply drops, they are not just, some low level names. You can get some new like high level items in there.
Well, I think
As a
like they
matter of
said that the new set stuff drops in the dark zone, right?
you can
And I'm thinking this is
exactly,
gonna be where it drops in the dark zone, not like
exactly.
random
So,
drops somewhere. It's gonna be
yeah.
from these, I would imagine.
So I would definitely think that this is where these drops, these specific gear is going to be dropping from, or any type of gear will be drop. You getting it from the supply drop. So, um, like we said last week on the show, get that armor, get that damage mitigation up because it is going to be getting real. And if you think it was bad now, people going rogue more often than not
Yep.
after the changes, Yeah, that's gonna
Yeah, they'll
become
definitely
a
be going rogue for that. I'll go rogue for that. You kidding
oh
me?
hell yeah, that's gonna be a
So yeah, that's
firefight around every corner.
yep.
So I don't. It'll make for an interesting stories. That's for sure. Um,
But I'm really glad that they're adding stuff to the Dark Zone, and that was totally unexpected on my end anyway. I just figured this was all going to be about the incursion
mhm,
and some more game
I
fixes
agree.
and other little stuff, whatever. I was not expecting like adding more to the Dark Zone, but
Yeah,
maybe
I
I should
agree.
have. But
I agree. Yeah, you know what? Again, we covered this on the show before. And at least with me, it's been something ever since the beta came out that I was saying, well, I hope they add like missions or some type of element in the dark zone where we can interact and have some type of missions or something.
hmm
There's other things to do in the dark zone because as it stands right now, the dark zone you go farm dark zone to get just basically if you don't have any high ends, you can get a Midas from there, but you can get a Midas
yeah,
from any drop. But obviously, the best way to do it is going to the dark zone and just run around, kill bosses, get your Phoenix credits. You get gear, so you can break down that you're gonna need for mats to craft other gear. Um,
hmm
just get the Vision Tech. That's the only location where you can get. Well, let me rephrase that. It is not the only location where you can get the Vision Tech because you can get the Vision Tech from the free roam. But it's a fun location. But it's nice that they're adding these elements in there, and it would be nice actually to see some more,
hmm
just to keep the dark zone very interactive and busy. All right. They moving on. Spectator cam is gonna be introduced, so no more gray screens when you die.
finally.
You can you'll actually be able to see your fire team or your squad and let them know, hey, check your corners. There's this guy running here. There's a guy running there. So that's gonna be nice.
That was the worst in the challenge modes when you did something stupid and you had to sit there and just look at a gray screen for like 10 minutes
Oh my
while
god,
the other while the other three like
that's
finished
at
the
least
encounter.
yeah, that was dumb. At least you get to see the action now, which
Yeah.
is good instead of the gray screen.
That
You
was
can
pretty
choose.
quick.
Yeah,
I don't know. I keep getting blown away by the responsiveness of
I agree.
passive.
I agree. The whole thing with the with the people farming the bosses the way they were, it took them what a week. We covered this last week as well. They're very responsive on how they're fixing the game.
Yeah.
So what gets to me is that there's some people. I'm not a developer. I am not a programmer. But you know what? There's very basic business needs. Putting all the programming aside, that the company has to produce a product and the product has to be out to market within a given time. And yes, you know what, the beta was there, the closed beta was there, they had the alpha, and they're very limited in what they get from those iterations of the game.
Yep.
So now that the game is out there in the wild, obviously full blown, then yes, there's a lot of more things creeping up, but they are squashing it pretty
Yeah.
quick.
Well, and
So
the good thing there too is that they clearly have a good platform to work on and easy
mhm,
to develop for.
yes.
Whereas
Yeah.
other games that we may not mention,
Hmm.
I have heard that it's very hard to do map edits for that game we used to play. Just part of the reason why like things were so slow to get fixed. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Well,
we won't get
yeah,
into that
that
because we talked about that too much last week and some
we
people were upset.
not only that, but yeah, you know what? Not only that, but just quick off topic. It's not only we talked about that last week, which is fine because we're players of the game. We enjoy
Yeah.
the game. We figured there's a lot of people that listen that play the game as well. Whether you love it or hate it, that's a personal choice. But they did send something out that kind of it just bothered me, with the whole pay to win business and the way they're doing. And I know there's a lot of people, well, it's not pay to win, whatever. Look, the point is, you should not be selling armor. I'm just gonna make this quick point, and I'm getting off of Destiny. There should not be any items in Eververse. No, especially when those items that you can get it's item that's armor. It can be infused. It has stats that it rolls with. Okay, so yes, Trials of Osiris is a gear based, game. It's Iron Banner. It's a gear based game as well. Okay, so
Yeah. The argument I keep hearing is that the stats on the armor don't really matter much.
Dude, that's
Like,
BS.
so
That's
why do
BS.
we even have
What the
stats on
hell?
armor then? Like,
Yeah,
what?
exactly. Come on, man. That's BS. Now you see, if they want to sell that, the actual skin as like a
If
transmog.
you
You
want to
remember
make
how
the
they
pure
used to do
transmog,
transmogs?
fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't have a
And
problem. You
my
want to
thing
sell
is, and
transmog?
this is, it does come in at level 3. The stat differences are probably negligible to whatever else you have, so
Yeah,
I can kind of understand that argument. My issue is that you shouldn't even have to make an argument that it's not pay to win. It
no,
should be just clearly like you're an idiot if you think it's at all could be pay to win. And even if this is not pay to win, boy is that right on the line.
yeah, you're like right there.
Right on the line.
You're going down a slippery slope quick. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But anyway, moving along. No more to be said about that.
Let's talk about
Um,
Falcon Lost.
yes, Falcon lost. So now we get to the incursion. So the, I mean,
Okay, we have
uh,
a practice incursion for this week. Should we talk about that? It's Champpayne Lost. He's been gone for 2 weeks now.
Champpayne
We're on a
lost.
mission to find him.
Yes, we're gonna be on a mission to go find the Champpayne. We'll pick him out of the frigid tundra of the north. Anyway, Falcon Lost incursion. It's gonna be an LMB based incursion. One thing they did mention before I go on into all the details with the incursions that they spoke about, they did mention that they already have other incursions. Basically, already they're ready to go. Obviously, they're testing them, working them out. But it seems that they're going to be doing these incursions are going to be faction based. Okay. By the way, we're this is which is the cool part about this is all free DLC, so everybody gets in on it.
Right.
Even whether or not you got the gold, everybody gets it. And this is not even the first paid DLC.
Yeah, so anybody that complains that why
Yeah,
wasn't this in the game already at launch? Blah blah blah. It's like, well, you're not paying for it.
exactly.
No.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, paywall, paywall, paywall.
Yeah.
Dude, there's
Yeah.
you
I
have
heard
to.
somebody in talking about Endgame too, and almost in even the reviews, it's like you can't even talk about Endgame now because the Endgame now is not. We still have 2 free updates coming
Yeah, yeah.
with
You know what
Endgame stuff.
the whole point with the end game. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'm not even getting. We'll leave that for the roundtable discussion. We'll discuss Endgame later, because yeah, there's I'll give you my thoughts on that. I guess you'll have yours as well. All right. So the Falcon Lost, like I was saying, they already have other incursions in the works. So it seems to
Yep.
me, from what they mentioned, since this is an LMB, it is basically an LMB stronghold. So again, I'm not gonna spoil it for those of you that haven't beat the game. Well, the point is, the LMB retreats, and now they're here. I hope that didn't spoil anything. um, there's going to be two modes to the incursions. There's going to be a hard mode and a challenge mode. Now, what they said, the requirements or what they suggest you have in order to enter the hard mode of the incursion is be all have the equivalent to whatever your level 31 gear sets are right now. It's have
Yep.
that minimum to
Yeah,
do a
so I
hard
need to grind to that 50 and start making the rest of my 31 gear.
Yes, you do. You have 2 weeks to do that.
Yep.
um,
10 days.
yes. The the challenge mode is a lot harder. They made a mention of their quality control guy. Their quality control guys played the game for days. Okay, and they said that these quality control guys are like the best people they have in house to play the game.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's all they do is play, right?
Yeah. So this they spend 8 hours playing on a work
And
day.
and I don't mean that like all they do is play. They do a lot of work. I am a programmer and
Well,
I
it
work
is-
with QC people.
It
is
is
work.
quality control. You have to play your game.
Yeah.
It's quality control. All right. So they said that it took them a few days to beat the challenge mode, and this is 8 hour days. All right, which I love a challenge. That's great. I like it. And once they beat it, they made it harder. That's what they said.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I mean, I like it. I don't know if it's again. You guys say that I like to beat my head on the wall sometimes. It's just I like a challenge. I'm not masochistic. I just love a challenge.
I like to beat my head on the wall with a good group of people.
Yes.
If I've done challenge modes. If I get into a challenge mode and it's going nowhere, I am not going to continue to beat my head on the wall with
yes.
subpar people.
I do
People that
that.
are maybe undergeared for it or whatever the issue is.
I try to be a nice guy sometimes, and
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't work out for me. So I
If there's
just,
three of us and we're carrying somebody through, I'm fine with that. But if it's
yeah,
like, yeah, if I'm with like two or three pugs and it's just nope,
yeah. That
I don't
that
have
I've
time for that.
actually
I
I've
don't have
stopped
enough time to
that.
play to do that.
Yeah, to
That's
waste
why.
time. Yeah. All right. So they also are introducing drones, which is cool. So they take the drones away from us in the game. Remember how they said that the drone's not gonna be available for the tablet anymore, and now they gave it to the LMB.
Yep.
They
So
can
don't blame
thumbs up.
Massive. LMB stole the recipe to craft the drones. It's not their fault that
Yes.
we don't have them.
Yes. Yeah, man. They hacked our drones and they took them. There you go. So anyway, it introduces. They were mentioning that it introduces a new element to the fight because now you're dealing with vertical dynamics as far as the game goes. You've got
hmm
drones flying with un unrestrained 360, 360 degrees of motion, whereas the enemies are usually on the ground, moving
Yeah,
horizontally.
and what kind of weapons do they have? Because that sounds horrifying.
I don't know, man.
Like shock weapons from
Dude,
above,
they
and
can
all of a
have
sudden you're like
shock weapon
standing up.
turrets, God knows
Just
what. This thing is supposed to be hard, but yeah,
yeah.
that'd be interesting to see what they have. Um, so another thing they said, oh, one quick thing for the lore junkies, the story junkies. They mentioned that every time you go into the incursion, that the dialogue is going to change. Okay, so the dialogue. Pay attention to the dialogue because the dialogue is going to be giving uh pointers per se about what's going on or clues as to what's going on in the open world. You know how we're walking around, for example, we'll be in
Oh.
the oh, very good example, Rick Velassi. That's Uncle Ricky, right? Uncle Ricky gave us a lot of insight into the LMB. Basically said, look, we've got the Last Man Battalion. He also, spoke about, the Rikers. So it's little things that they put in the game
hmm
that'll give you clues as to what's coming next.
Well, I'm
So
really wondering. Like, you'll see some TVs somewhere, and they show the president standing at his podium or whatever, like giving whatever speech. It'd be interesting to find out more what happened.
yeah,
What
yeah.
happened to him? You know, because I saw rumors that he's dead and other.
Well, who
So
knows?
who
I mean,
knows how far globally this
yeah,
could. I think it
the
was in the book. I think it was actually April Kelleher in that book that says she heard rumors that the president's not even around anymore.
really, ah, well,
Who
it's
knows
funny
what?
because in the when you play the game, when you start the game, during the cutscenes, there's a news anchor. He's actually talking about the infection going, worldwide, right?
Well, look at the mini game they gave us before the game started. I mean, an infection like this in New York City,
Yeah,
killing 90%, but not
exactly,
super fast. Yeah,
exactly. And Rick Velassi makes a
it's
mention
everywhere.
of it as well.
Has to be.
Yeah. So again, it's a lot of things, just clues and cues that he might give in the dialogue
hmm
as to what's going on in the open world. Um, they mentioned you will need a very diversified team, crowd control, heals, DPS. For those of you that played RPGs before, you know exactly what this entails. For those of you that are new to RPGs, do your homework. You need
Did they
crowd control.
mention tanking?
Yeah. Uh, they did not mention tanking,
So
but
even though they have like the shield and everything, I feel like the game so far seems to be set up more for that CC heals DPS
yes. Yeah.
than an actual tank. We'll see what happens.
It, you know what? Tanking, it could be tanking in there as well. I wouldn't doubt it, but we'll see because the incursion, again, it is going to test our abilities to do so, work as a team
Yeah.
effectively. So what are we gonna do? We need a tank. We need somebody to generate threat because you have one person, and we actually had the discussion while we were playing the game a few weeks back. The effectiveness of obviously having a tank. I mean, this is like for those of us that have been in RPGs, playing RPGs or MMOs for years, we know what the whole point of having a tank is. The tank gains the attention of the mob,
hmm
turns them so people can get the DPS on him. So when he does the damage, it's not going out towards the group, but it's actually
Yeah.
directed towards the tank. So yeah, you know what? You got a guy tanking. The guy can probably start, shooting multiple people or shooting multiple NPCs. He can start strafing around the room, taking him around the corner, The enemies are going to look at them, or you can get the rest of the group flanking them from the side. I mean, multiple tactics, multiple scenarios you can
Hmm.
conjure up with this. So
Yeah,
it's
that's a good
definitely
point. I wonder if they're looking at tanking as more just boss tanking and not mob tanking.
yeah. I,
CC and just destroy the mobs. But if we could get, especially like with that turret,
mhm.
like who know, I don't know how to. I think a lot of these bosses you could, with that APC, if you
Yeah,
had a tank that could take more damage than most everybody else, that could turn it
yeah.
in a different
I,
direction, so everybody else can get it from the side or the back.
yeah. Well, I do tell you one thing. I'll tell you this one thing that they did mention, that you will not just be able to shoot the boss and take down the boss. That we are going to have to build
Right.
up some type of tactics,
Yeah.
and there's going to be a way to get the boss down, and it's not just going to be a bullet sponge just shoot him. No, there's going to be specific techniques to getting the boss down.
Yeah. Well, like that last mission in the game, there's
Hmm.
you don't have to do it, but I wonder if it'll be kind of similar to that last mission in the game, but you have to activate those things instead of
Yeah,
just
yeah.
being another option.
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, it'd be nice, again. It'd be nice to see what type of elements they're gonna include later on, as within the next week or two, or how much more they're gonna divulge as far as
Hmm.
information. So that'd be good. But yeah, definitely, you want to get a group. Matchmaking will be available. All right, for those of you that want matchmaking, um, good luck. Hopefully, it works out for you. But once you start getting into harder content like this, if you matchmake and you find some people, guys, by all means, use the community to your advantage. Find a group. Maybe you've already been playing with a set group. Tweak your loadouts.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, definitely
If
diversify.
you want to do incursions and you don't have a group, check out like the Division Discord or check out
Hmm.
Mog Nation and look at us
Yep,
because you definitely want. I would not want to matchmake. I'm glad that it's nice that they're gonna have it there for
definitely,
when people
definitely.
aren't around or whatever, and you have time to play and you want to do it. But I would definitely recommend, especially at the start,
Yep,
not going in there the first time as a with random
yeah.
people.
Just random people the first time, and oh, very important, the rewards from the incursions. The rewards are gonna be, you can repeat incursions. You can do them over. You can farm them basically. There will be one reward that's gonna be a weekly reward. So the first reward you get for doing the incursion the first week, the first time on that week, is gonna be greater, okay, than versus you going into farming it.
Hmm.
So that's one thing to keep
I
in
like
mind.
that there's at least it's not like going in there is just totally useless. You're still gonna get something out of going in
Yes,
there
you're always
if you
gonna get
go in
gear
there
out of
good.
it. Obviously, once a week you have the chance of getting
Right.
the best gear, but then after that, it's just you lose that chance, and then you go back to farming whatever's in the loot pool, and maybe that one item is in that loot pool, but at a lower percentage, chance of dropping. Who knows? Um, the one thing that is very important, and some people are not gonna like this. I personally, I am very I don't mind it to a degree, I guess, until we see how difficult this thing gets. But there are no checkpoints.
I love it.
So this is
That's the kind of
basically,
challenge thing I like. Not going
yes.
into challenge mode with a bunch of people that can't play,
No,
like
no,
you
exactly.
like.
You cannot carry people here.
No.
You can't. And this is why, again, this is, to a degree, this is the end game, part of the end game to the game.
Yep.
Um if you go in, you have to be tactical. You have to execute proper mechanics in order to survive. You just don't go in there like we typically do and just run and gun and blitz through a challenge mode. You know,
Yep.
even then, challenge modes, depending which one you're doing, you just can't run and gun because
No.
yeah, they'll
Really
take you out
infinite
pretty
mode.
fast.
Yep.
But if this is a lot more difficult than challenge modes, then we most definitely need to clean up our act. I know me, for I mess around a lot, so whenever we're doing like hard modes or challenge modes, I'll run out and do something. But you know very well that when it comes to, I'm personally, I'm not one to waste anybody else's time, so I don't BS around when it comes to things like this. So when we have something like this on the line, you are gonna get, since there are no checkpoints, if your team wipes, you're going back to the beginning.
Yep.
So yeah, this is why you want to get a team going, and everybody's got to be on point so you're not wasting anybody else's time. Because again, this is not something that you're gonna clear. Probably not. Probably later down the line when we're geared, you can probably clear it out in 45 minutes, maybe. But as it is right
Yeah.
now, since it's just you releasing, it'll be a while.
Champpayne says that also that the wipe and reset sounds stolen from Destiny.
What?
Nightfall. I don't know. I don't see it like that at all. I
No.
just to me it's
Kick to
the
orbit.
games we played. Go play Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
You get 3 lives. When those 3 lives are gone, you got to start over.
Yeah.
Like all the games we played when we were younger.
Yeah.
There's no saving, no checkpoints.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, it just makes it a lot more interesting. That's for sure for the
Yep.
encounters. Um, again, so the incursions are repeatable. You get a weekly reward. There's the APC that's going to be that. The APC is a boss. There was a video that they were playing while they were talking about the incursion. So there's that one APC, like we mentioned. He is a boss. He is in there. Um, again, just going back to the future incursions, they might be doing the incursions based. My take on it, they might be doing it based on factions. So we might be seeing an incursion for the
Mm-hmm.
Rikers, to wrap up the story with the Rikers. Because yeah, we took out Luray.
Well, it's like
You know,
all of them. You take out the boss, but that doesn't
yeah,
mean the faction goes away.
that doesn't mean that's the main boss, right? It doesn't mean the faction goes away. There's always a power vacuum. Somebody's going to
Hmm.
step up to take it, which is what's happening with LMB, right? So you have the same situation with the Rikers. You'll have the same situation with the Cleaners. Yeah, we took out Joe Farrow, but again, there's a vacuum there. Who's going to step up, to claim it?
Yep.
The Riders is another one. There really hasn't been like a clear. What the hell
I
was
don't know.
that? It has. Mhm.
I don't know if they would do one for that. To me, the
Yeah,
rioters is just like all the people that they're not
that's
organized. It's not,
correct.
they're just all the people that are just taking whatever they want.
Yeah, just Riders and
Yeah.
Looters. Yeah. Um, what else? Let's see what else we have here. That's different incursions. This is my show notes, by the way. See that?
Well, I think we are going to have
Yeah.
a Q&A coming up soon, so if anybody in the Twitch chat
Here.
or on
Yeah,
Twitter.
these are my show notes in sticky paper while I was watching the show, the stream. um, all right. So anyway, moving along. So that's basically the incursions. They're gonna it's gonna be an interesting part of the game right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be
So
nice to have another end game activity that's even harder.
yeah, that's gonna be cool. All right. So that'll move us over to the shout outs. All right. So for shout outs this week, we've got mognation.com. Obviously, those are our people. Mog PSN, our little slice of heaven. You guys are the best. You make everything possible. The Division forums and the Discord. Again, go in there if you want to find some great people to play with. It's a great resource. Check them out. Shout out to all our listeners at home, here at home in the US and around the world. Thanks for the support. Don't be shy to interact with us. Email us. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Twitch during the live stream if you're around, because I know that the different time zones, can be wonky.
Yeah.
But also a special shout out. See, because this is something I do. I'll go into the geographical location. So I was like, okay, let's see. We picked up new people from somewhere else, and I just happened to scroll by the little island in the Caribbean, and we've got some listeners that popped up on Puerto Rico. That's my birthplace. So shout outs to the people from Puerto Rico.
Do you have
Welcome
like a
aboard.
grandmother back there or anything? Or a great aunt?
No,
Or
no,
somebody
actually, no,
somebody
they don't
watching?
play. No, you know what? Actually, I was born in Puerto Rico. My entire family is from Dominican Republic. So, but I was born in Puerto Rico. I lived there till I was 5. So, it is my birthplace. Needless to say, moving along.
Oh,
All right then.
for Q&A,
Uh,
we have more just
Q&A.
comments, but we can kind of play off of that.
Yeah.
So, do you think the loot tables for the incursions are kind of set up like the Nightfall in Destiny?
Obviously, they're loot tables, dude.
Right?
What's
Loot
there to
tables,
say? They're loot tables.
But to me, it's not. Cause to me, the Destiny Nightfall, you could run once, And actually, the loot tables in the Nightfall were horrendous. So I mean, I
Listen to
used
me.
to,
No, yes, I
I
was.
would get like a light 280 ghost out of a Nightfall. So no, I don't see
Yeah,
that at all. The incursion's gonna drop the best gear, not just some junk. I don't know.
yeah. I know what you mean by the loot tables. I know exactly where the joke comes in, because this is me running a Nightfall, and 3 weeks in a row, or three characters in a row. What do I get? A freaking ghost shell. Like, dude,
Yep.
are you serious? Come on, this is not even like statistically possible.
That was one of the reasons I stopped. I'm like, this is supposed to be one of
It's
the
just,
harder things in the game, and this is
so
just
no,
silly.
so the answer to that would be, in my opinion, no,
Yeah,
because
that's
the
pretty
way
much where I am too. I don't.
yeah, just from looking at the current, the way the game drops loot, it's very well balanced. You see, loot dropping from all sides, so that's pretty nice.
Let's see. Champpayne says you mean like a high-end mod that you already have. I'm not sure what.
Um, oh, you mean like performance mods? Those high end drops that we get in the dark zone, we get all excited about them, and then they're performance mods. I wonder if that's it.
I mean, it's not always going to be an upgrade, but that's.
Yeah.
I just don't see the correlation to the Destiny Nightfall, other than
Nah,
it
it's
just
just
being like any RPG going in a dungeon
yeah,
and getting loot.
definitely,
It's
definitely. But I think what they trying to say is, are we gonna be getting the same crap over and over again? Which I doubt. I doubt. I mean, I'm not being a fanboy or
yeah. I
anything.
wish you
It's
were on the
just
show, Champpayne. He says you think the mirror between the two games may be greater than we are anticipating. I
yeah,
don't know. I
yeah.
don't see it at all.
No. So yeah, see,
But he can argue
Champagne.
that stuff next week.
Just real quick, yeah, we'll let you bring up your rebuttal about that. But yeah, but Champagne, just a quick note, guys. Champagne just got real sick. His voice is shot. He is the voice of the show. He's got that
Yep.
broadcaster quality voice. That's why he hosts the show. See, us two are just, I don't know. We just talkers. We make points. um. All right. What else? What do you have?
So
Uh,
what he's concerned about is repeating loot drops, which yeah, to a point, I guess. But I mean, you can go back to we started in WoW. Champpayne and I
mhm.
started playing in WoW, and same thing there. I just don't see I see the correlation to any other loot game. I don't see it to Destiny in
Uh,
particular. I guess
yeah.
I
You know what?
I see
Again,
this game as a lot more like Diablo, like you mentioned
definitely,
earlier in the show. This is a lot more like Diablo than Destiny, and I
definitely.
hope that they switch the loot system to where Diablo is now sooner than it took Diablo to get there. Because Diablo
Yeah.
didn't do too well when it first came out because the loot system
Mm-mm.
was horrible, and then
Yeah.
they've made the appropriate adjustments, and now it's nice.
Definitely, definitely, yeah, definitely. One other point to touch on: weapon skins, because
Hmm.
I know we covered this last week, but specifically when we see the weapons vendor, right, the weapon skins vendor, or the vendor back there,
Yep.
whatever his name is. Once you see him, I think they definitely need to implement some type of preview so we can see the weapon skin, dude.
Yeah.
I just don't want to buy weapon. First of all, our stash, we have limited space. That's number one, because weapon skins take up inventory space. They shouldn't take up
Yep.
inventory space. Put
Yeah.
them as some type of apparel. Something that
For
we can
now,
click.
yeah. For now, there's a workaround going to Reddit or whatever, but that's a total workaround. I mean, you should definitely
Yeah,
be able to see it. Um, yeah, and Shango brings up a good point too. I mean, not to bash on Destiny or anything either. And when they do have
yeah,
good ideas, like yeah, I'm glad they're using some of their good ideas.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh, Shango mentions, can we get those LMB sniper cloaks, dude? That is funny you mentioned that. I was thinking about that
Yeah,
the other day. I was thinking, wow, man, that'd be nice to get a sniper coat. I know some of you snipers would love it. That
yep,
would be cool. That would be
definitely.
very
The
nice.
Rikers have decent ones too. The orange
Yeah,
one. It's like the
yeah.
same thing, different color
But you
basically.
want to pick up one with the SHD where they put an X next to it,
Mm.
they cross it out, or the cops, man. Yeah, but yeah, that'd be definitely a nice apparel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a copy of Lando. You are the Shango, so Disco Lando over there. Stay frosty, Windy City. I remember that you had that on your Facebook. But yeah, that's basically it for the show. I don't know, Sean. You have to do this is
Oh my, your Skype was skipping a bit there. Uh-oh. May have lost Julio. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, well, that's our show. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Twitch, like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and of course, check out our website, intothedarkzone.com. You can also send us feedback via any of these sources. Also, tune in next week on Saturday at 9 a.m. EST. Bye, everybody.